It is in the details. A look. A connection. The moments that reveal the truth. Award-winning documentaries from critically acclaimed filmmakers. Witness documentaries to open your eyes. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Here with the Al Jazeera News Hour, and now it's time for all the sports with Louise.
Thanks very much. We start with international football, and all eyes were on the clash of the Spanish Titans on Wednesday night as Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo locked horns for the first time at international level. Real Madrid's Ronaldo and Messi at Barcelona are tied for the most league goals scored so far this season with 24 each, and they met as Argentina took on Portugal in a friendly. The Argentinians went into the lead. It was Messi who did the main legwork, but it was Angel Di Maria who was the scorer after 15 minutes. But it didn't take long for one of them to find the net. It was Ronaldo with an equaliser for Portugal. And 1-1 was how it stayed right till the 90th minute when Argentina were awarded a penalty for this foul on Juan Manuel Martinez in the box. And guess who stepped up to take it? Yes, Messi. He wasn't going to miss, was he? It ended 1-1 Messi-Ronaldo, but 2-1 to Argentina. The world and European champions Spain left it very late against Colombia. The Spanish managed to put recent defeats to Argentina and Portugal behind them, but only in the last few minutes of the game. And David Silva scoring to save their blushes. A final score, 1-0. The 2018 World Cup hosts Russia were stunned 1-0 by Iran. The Iranian side broke the deadlock through Mohammad Reza Kalbari, who scored in the final minutes, but the ref got a bit shirty with his celebration and gave him a red card for taking off his top. Elsewhere on Wednesday, Serbia beat Israel 2-0. No goals between Turkey and Asian Cup semi-finalist Korea. Nigeria and the last World Cup host South Africa were winners in their respective games. Ukraine beat Sweden on penalties in their friendly tournament in Cyprus. England beat Denmark 2-1, while Poland beat Norway. And the World Cup finalists, the Netherlands thumped Austria 3-1. And then in the meetings of the former World Cup winners, it ended 1-1 between Italy and Germany, with Miroslav Klose and Giuseppe Rossi getting on the score sheet there. And Karim Benzema was on target for the French, as they seem to be putting their World Cup woes behind them to beat Brazil 1-0. Ruud Gullit arrived in Chechnya to take over as the new coach of the Russian Premier League side Terek Grozny. The two-time World Footballer of the Year was greeted by fans at the airport. Now, the outfit from the Caucasus region only returned to Grozny in 2008 after 2 wars forced them away for 15 years. Now they're hoping Gullit, who is captain of the Netherlands and coached the likes of AC Milan and Chelsea, will guide them to international success. Now, the former owners of Liverpool Football Club are attempting to claim $1.6 billion in damages after being forced to sell the Premier League club. Tom Hicks and George Gillette are pursuing the huge sum for what they called a giant swindle. A High Court judge is set to decide on whether they can sue the Royal Bank of Scotland and 3 former directors who approved the sale in October against the Americans' will. The case in London comes as Liverpool's fortunes on the field have been revived. They're up to 6th in the table. Tiger Woods is set to play alongside the world's top 2 players, Lee Westwood and Martin Kaymer, in the first 2 rounds of the Dubai Desert Classic. The 14-time major winners hoping to win a 3rd title in Dubai. Well, Woods spent the eve of the tournament taking part in the traditional Pro-Am, where he was partnered with a US serviceman based in Afghanistan, who beat 16,000 golfers in a draw to play alongside the world number 3. Well, Woods has gone 14 months without a victory and knows he must start winning consistently again before he can think of returning to the top of the rankings.
If I'm in the event, it's to win. That's just plain and simple. I don't always win. I've certainly lost a lot more tournaments than I've won, but you know, it's the goal every week we tee it up, and that doesn't change.
Well, 21-year-old Rory McIlroy is looking for a repeat of his victory in 2009. The Northern Irishman won his first European Tour title in Dubai 2 seasons ago. This time he's had a relaxed build-up to the tournament and is hoping to slide back into the swing of things.
You know, I can remember coming out here when I was 16 and playing in the tournament. I was lucky enough to get an invite, and things have really come on since there. So yeah, I sort of do treat this as a home event because I have played it more times than any other tournament on tour. You know, it's a very impressive field. The top 3 players in the world are here, and you know, if you can win this week, you know that your game's, you know, definitely on the right track, and you're in great shape going into the season.
The Sri Lankan bowling legend Mattaya Muralitharan says his side's happy to be labelled one of the underdogs for the upcoming Cricket World Cup. Murali is aiming to bow out from international crickets after the tournament, which starts later this month. The 38-year-old's the leading wicket-taker in both Test and one-day cricket, and he's one of a number of veterans in the Sri Lankan squad. Sri Lanka winners in 1996 are drawn in Group A alongside Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, Canada and Kenya.
We like to be at, rather than the favourites, underdogs, then we try to do well in the play. I think we got a very good captain, and Maile is a past captain and is a very good knowledge in cricket. So we got a lot of experience and a lot of young players. So with the mix, definitely we have a good chance to go into this. I think this the best team can go. So hopefully we'll do well.
Heinrich Hausler's become the new leader of the Tour of Qatar after winning Wednesday's 3rd stage. The German-born Australian battled through strong winds and sprinted to the line to win his 2nd stage of this year's race. Tom Boonen, who had a 1-second advantage in the overall standings at the start of the day, got a puncture 40 kilometres from the finish and wasn't able to rejoin the lead group. He's now down in 14th. Hausler, who takes the leader's golden jersey, has a 4-second advantage over his compatriot Mark Renshaw. And that's all the sport for now.
Thanks, Louise, and thanks for joining us here on Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top story this hour, and that's demonstrators in Egypt remain defiant, and now workers are walking out. We'll have all the details in just a moment here on Al Jazeera, so do stay with us.
We have more flooding to come across northern Australia over the next couple of days. I suspect the main focus for the heaviest rainfall will be just around the northernmost parts of Queensland, pushing up into the Gulf of Carpenter area, just around the Cape York Peninsula. Plenty of shower clouds showing up here, and you can see this long chain of clouds just running through central parts down into South Australia. Heavy showers are going to persist here. Could even see some very wet weather coming towards Alice Springs. Temperatures here at around 34 Celsius. Showers or longer spells of rain pulling away from Western Australia. Still nowhere near the bushfires that we've seen earlier on this week. And notice some rather heavy rain very close to the northwest. Hopefully that should stay offshore. Brighter skies gradually pushing back in as we move towards the weekend. That wet weather will make its way down towards western parts of South Australia. Heavy showers making their way into the southeast as this rain just pushes high pressure out of the way, nudges down across Victoria. Same area of cloud and rain will bring some heavy downpours into southern parts of New Zealand over the next day or two. I think these will gradually make their way a little further northwards. Hopefully a window of drier, brighter weather to come for Friday. Temperatures in Auckland getting up to a pleasant 23 Celsius. Meanwhile, it's not looking too bad across Southeast Asia. Still a few showers into Indonesia, yes, but largely fine and dry for western Borneo and right the way across Malaysia.
Everyone in this city has heard about the release of the Palestine Papers. The debate is becoming extremely heated.
And you can see the amount of security that's been put into place. This is leading to a very tense situation on the streets.
They're saying that the fight can continue for as long as it takes until a radical solution in Tunisia.
There's so many caskets with victims, there's no time to do a proper burial.
And as one man told me, for him, 2011 no longer exists.
From local traders to international finance, it's commerce that makes the world go round. For global companies and developing markets, communication is the currency, and information is the most valuable commodity. Counting the cost at this time on Al Jazeera.
Demonstrators remain defiant, and now worker walkouts contribute to the wave of discontent in Egypt. You're watching Al Jazeera live from Doha. I'm Darine Abu Gaida with you. Also coming up on the program, put him on trial now. Italian prosecutors call for immediate action against Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. Pakistan-US relations remain strained over the detention of an American citizen. And easing the embargo, a loosening of US restrictions on Cuba divides expat opinion in Florida. 2 a.m. in Egypt, and protesters remain camped out on the streets of Cairo, but the fact that workers are on strike across the country may be a more worrying development for the government. Behind the scenes, negotiations are underway between a committee of wise men, that's what they're called, and the government to agree on a transition. But despite those talks, the deadlock between the government and the protesters looks set to continue. Here's Al Jazeera's Ayman Muhyiddin.
Well, the political standoff between President Hosni Mubarak's government and the so-called Committee of the Wise Men continues without any progress, really. The so-called Committee of the Wise Men has put forth their demands, which are also representative of some of the protesters' demands that President Hosni Mubarak step down and transfer power to Vice President Omar Suleiman to begin implementing constitutional reforms. But the president seems to be very much